Am I the a-hole for not stopping my husband's affair even after my mom told me to? Should you always try to expose a cheating spouse?
Probably.
Yeah, especially if they're doing CrossFit.
I don't do CrossFit.
What exercises were you doing the other day, Riley? What kind of exercises?
Box jumps.
Box jumps and deadlifts.
It
was a CrossFit workout, but not at a CrossFit gym. CrossFit gym is different than a CrossFit workout.
Anyways.
Yeah. Okay, so this comes from Ilad4231, and they say, I don't know if I want advice or just to vent or just to ask opinions about infidelity. I have very strong opinions that my significant other wants to cheat. I won't stop them. If they want to cheat, I won't stop them. More freedom. They're like a free-range chicken. Just running about.
Let them fail.
Causing a muck. Yeah, let them fail. Catch them in the act. Slice their head off. Have a nice little turkey sandwich or chicken sandwich.
Delicious.
If they need to be stopped, they're not worth my love. I deeply believe I deserve someone who is 100% willingly wants to be with me and wouldn't fall for temptation. Let's say it falls under my responsibility to try and stop them if I knew they're going to cheat. But what about if I didn't know? So basically, OP is like, I don't want to deal with it if they are going to cheat. If they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat. But if I know they're going to cheat, maybe I'll stop them. Does that make sense?
Kind of. Like basically, hey, if it happens, it happens. That'll let me know I can maybe divorce them. But if I do know, maybe it's like, maybe then I'm more inclined if I do know to stop it, even though
because literally OP is like, if they want to cheat, I won't stop them. But then says, let's say it falls under my responsibility to try and stop them if I knew they're going to cheat. So I guess I don't know what that. OP, you're contradicting yourself.
Stop them, but don't stop them.
I'm married. We've been together for 4 years and married for 6 months. We just moved to a new apartment, and little by little, we have been renovating it. We're both crafty, and we want to create our dream home. We both became friends with our neighbors, also a couple. The woman is very beautiful and bubbly, and I get along with her very well. She said she envied us renovating since her husband doesn't really like these things and refuses to give her money to start her own projects. He's a stay-at-home mom. I don't know about her situation with her husband, but the closer we got with him, the more I sense that he's very careful with money. Is that a red flag or is that a green flag? Because man's frugal and trying to save for retirement for him and his honey.
How careful.
How careful. So I get what she means, although I don't think he is financially abusive. Both my husband and I work. My husband works a lot from home. I have noticed that my neighbor is getting more and more friends and more friendly with my husband instead of how it started as a friendship with me. So the stay-at-home mom neighbor is like cozying up to the husband. This bubbly, beautiful neighbor.
I think I smell an ICU. Comment below.
Do you smell an ICU? Put an ICU in the chat if you smell an ICU. But get a little too close for comfort. She is very flirty and she seems to have more and more in common with my husband, especially the things I don't really like hiking, but even the smallest things like food or sweets. She has so much in common with him, as she put it many times. I just have so much in common with your husband.
We just have so many shared interests and are interested in each other.
So move aside so we can have more in common.
Yeah, get out of the way, wife. I'm the new wife and wifed up to someone else, but who cares?
Who cares?
These people
get in there.
Stories.
Since she's a stay-at-home mom, she started making my husband his favorite food, and my husband has said on many occasions how nice it is that she cooks, etc. Now, twice I came home and she's in there with my husband, helping him with the renovations, or has just bought him lunch. My husband doesn't seem bothered at all, so it makes me think nothing is happening between them yet. Keyword, yet.
Yet.
All right, ICUs, do you think that she's going to cheat? All right, John, what do you think? Do you think she's going to cheat?
That's what it's feeling like.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a little bit too cozy, you know?
Yeah, there's I feel like while it's hard to define, you kind of know it when you see it. And that is things like constantly coming over and making him meals, cooking meals, checking, And
it also feels like she's trying to drive a wedge between the husband and the wife by being like, oh, we have so much in common. Or oh, wait, you like hiking? I like hiking. Your wife doesn't like hiking? We don't have to bring her. It can be our little secret.
Exactly.
Let's go hiking together.
I think you'd be like, oh, hey, there's this cool trail. That's cool. But then once you start saying stuff like that,
and I also I wonder if there's a certain level of responsibility that you have to not like protect your relationship from emotional cheating, you know, where it's like, if there is an attractive other party that is really digging into the relationship, do you as a partner have a responsibility to be like, oh, like this is too close for comfort if I'm trying to protect my marriage?
I think you do.
Yeah.
I think you do. Like, again, it's kind of a hard gray area because you don't want to be an a-hole if someone's like, oh, hey, do you like hiking? No, I hate hiking. But you also, if someone's like really, it seems like they're, one time someone asked me, oh, I said something about biking. And they're like, oh, do you exercise and stuff right in front of my girlfriend? I was like, no.
I don't exercise.
I just kind of like, because it felt like it was a little bit there. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I
became bleh.
I had this friend I've had for like years, and she's now in a new relationship, and we usually go running together. And her boyfriend's like, I don't want you running with him anymore. And so, I mean, like, I understand it.
Yeah.
I understand it. You know, even though like nothing has happened, I feel like there's a certain point where
I think it's fair. Yeah.
You know, maybe you want to protect the relationship, and like if you're running with a smoking hot dude that has a successful podcast,
oh,
like,
dude,
you know, like you don't want to make people insecure.
Podcast Hazel Eyes.
No, but I think like I understand the need to maybe want to protect the relationship, but there's a really thin line between protecting the relationship and being controlling.
It's definitely a delicate balance.
Yeah. Chumpus says emotional affairs are 100% worse. Don't ask me how I know. Tear emojis for Chumpus. Oof. I was telling this to my mom, and she got so angry at my quote unquote indifference. She said that I should ban my neighbor from being around my husband and tell him not to talk to her again. I told her that I wanted a husband who doesn't want to cheat. There are 4 billion women out there, and I can't stop him from seeing all of them.
Dang.
He's the only one who can decide if his marriage is worth it. My mom called me deranged, and she is very upset with me. I don't know what to do. I've made my opinion clear to my husband that I didn't appreciate our neighbor hanging around with him, and I even started to cook more at home. Other than that, I don't plan on having a contest with women to win my husband. I always believe if they can take him, they can keep him. It may sound so cold. I don't feel that at all. My heart is full of love for him, and I can't even imagine myself cheating on him, even if I was in a room full of handsome men. I just want the same in return. He hasn't done anything yet, but he has texted with her a few times. Nothing flirty, but they have texted. I hate it, but I don't know. My mom said I'm enabling this just to see if he cheats and then discard him, but all I wish is that he chooses me without him knowing that I'm watching, without me asking him to choose me, and there is an update. But John, what do you think? What do you think about this?
I mean, I see what she's saying. So basically, she's saying, hey, if a husband is going to cheat, a husband is going to cheat. Why put myself through all of this unnecessary pain and heartache trying to stop him, trying to convince him, trying to change him, doing all these things when it's like, it actually might be better and more efficient for that person to reveal their true character by cheating, and then me being like, hey, this relationship isn't going to work out for me.
Yes, but I think on the flip side is if you are seeing this person that is obviously flirting with your husband, and maybe your husband doesn't realize that that person is flirting with them.
Yes,
it's like
he might not know.
He might not know. And
100%.
If you continue that, like the relationship as is, you're going to just put yourself in an uncomfortable situation where she eventually maybe makes a move, and then your husband just has to deal with the fallout of that. So, I mean, I feel like the husband isn't putting up enough boundaries. Maybe like let's say that he's not going to cheat. I don't think he's putting up enough boundaries to spare this other person's like feelings developing. If that makes sense.
You brought up a very good undercurrent, which is men are idiots. What do I mean by that? Well, men can often be bad at like picking up when a woman is like being flirty and being. This is just my personal experience and like my male friends. So I feel like if the wife is like, oh, red flag, producer Sophia, do you have anything to add?
No.
Great.
Sophia's the silent producer.
Hey, I said men are idiots. This is good, right? But to finish my point, if someone is oblivious of the cheating, of the flirtatiousness, it's good to let them be aware so that way they can, put the wall up, basically.
Yeah, and then
do that very lightly.
I think like the other thing too is you might not realize that you're putting yourself in a position where you could develop feelings too. It's like I feel like there's the side of there's like both, like I don't think the husband is putting himself in the position where Rather, I think the husband is putting himself in a position where both he and this the wife of their neighbor could develop feelings for each other. Like I feel like he's there's like at risk of both.
Yeah, like either side could play out basically.
Yeah. And I mean, OP trusts the husband, so maybe that wouldn't happen on the husband's side, but it could happen on the neighbor's side.
Yeah.
And that just makes it awkward
not fun
too.
either.
Yeah. Kitty Renee says, I'm petty. I'd stir the pot. OP should thank the neighbor's husband for letting her go over there and help with renovations and for buying OP's husband's lunch. Yeah, I mean, that's one way to do it. That's one way to do it. Just like expose all of the too nice things that this neighbor is doing for your husband.
True.
To the other husband.
Let the other husband know.
But do you want to get into this update?
Oh, let's do it.
So, some girls here suggested that I don't tell my husband next time I left work early. Well, I didn't want to wait for that to happen, so I accidentally, on purpose, left my gym bag at home.
Classic.
Asked my manager if I could have a couple of hours of break around lunch, and sure enough, my neighbor was in my kitchen eating lunch with my husband. My husband looked nervous and guilty and said, yeah, we're having lunch here. They had the leftovers from yesterday's dinner, and they've ordered a pizza because we didn't have enough leftovers for two. So she didn't even make him lunch this time. I just said that I was there to bring my gym bag and left. Now I'm sitting in my car shaking. My stomach and heart are aching. He has called 3 times, but I couldn't answer. He texted me this: my love, I know you don't like it when she's here, but you have nothing to worry about. I love you. Do we believe him or do we not?
I feel like him saying, I know you don't like it when she's here is messed up.
Yeah, why
then
not?
If you don't, then stop doing it.
Exactly. It's like, I feel like he should say, hey, is her being here making you uncomfortable? Because I can definitely like basically curb that.
Yeah, I know you don't like it, but I'm going to keep doing it.
But it's so great, babe.
Yeah, but
I swear.
Give me free food.
Yeah. Sounds like he's not a W husband.
Yeah, not getting W husband vibes.
Not a W husband. Now I'm trying to calm my nerves before driving back to work. He knows that I don't like it when she's there, yet the few times I've left work early, she's been there, which probably means she's always there when he's working from home, which means even if he knows I hate it, he still does it. We've been married for 6 months. I know the first year is always hard, but I don't know. Is that true? The first year of marriage is always hard?
Maybe I think maybe that's more of like a trope. I don't know if it's like true.
Isn't that the honeymoon period?
But maybe something I
heard the first, how about the first like 20 years of marriage? That might be hard.
I mean, that's longer than some people's marriages. So
the first year though, I feel the first year is the easiest. That's when you're like off the honeymoon stuff.
I heard the first year and also the second year and every year after
marriage.
The fifth
is pain.
Suffering.
Yeah, we are in our 30s and we don't have children yet. Oh yeah, I heard marriage before children is the hardest part. Not true. That's not true. Life with Us says, my first year was easy. Celtic Kit says, no, it is true. Jellybus says, depends. Carasosa says, I thought the first year of marriage was the honeymoon phase. That's what I thought too. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, we are in and out of our 30s. We don't have children yet. We only own our apartment together. Maybe this wasn't meant to be. Maybe it's better to call it a day now before there's more to lose. My mom will probably call me deranged again if I tell her this and how I'm feeling, but I'm very, very turned off by this. She can keep him. And there is another edit and another update.
Whoa.
Yeah. So what do we think with this more like this further information? Do you think man is cheating or he just has a very close friend that makes him lunch when the wife is away?
I think I'm going to stay on my original stance of I think that there could be foul play here. I think the text is like, hey, I know you don't like her here, but don't worry about it.
That's a red flag in itself.
Yeah.
That's a red flag in itself.
Yeah.
Georgette Cooper says, I'm blown away by the disrespect. I wouldn't even care if it was truly just lunch. He admitted he knows, like, what the hell? Like, I think, yeah, again, like, that's what we were talking about. The issue is actually him knowing it makes his partner uncomfortable and him doing it anyway.
Yeah, because like there's probably in any relationship, there's one thing that's like maybe one person thinks isn't that big of a deal, but their partner's like, hey, this makes me uncomfortable. And you should respect your partner enough to be like, hey, you know what? Let me put a stop to that. So that way I'm respecting you and your boundaries. And
yeah, and it could be
great.
Like just someone's insecurity, right? But if you're in a relationship and you're in it for the long haul, I think that is something you need to work through together.
Yeah.
And talk about, and maybe make your partner more comfortable with it in that moment until, you understand what respect looks like to both of you in that relationship.
I think this specific scenario is totally something where the husband could like, hey, let's, avoid having lunch together and doing these other things. We can still be friends with the other couples and all that. We don't have to be like, I will never talk to you again as long as I live.
I actually have a question for chat and everyone in the comments. What do you think is inappropriate for opposite sex friends to do together? What is an overstep of a boundary?
Drop some examples.
Yeah, I would love to know. Because like some people are like, any one-on-one hangout is against the rules with an opposite sex partner, which I think is kind of ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah.
I think some people are like, even a group hangout, which is, I think, edging on controlling.
Yeah.
More than edging.
I think it is. It is controlling.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I do want to get a gauge from people. Yeah. Cause it is this like weird amorphous blobby area. Well, the extreme ones, it's kind of easy to see, but there's this like gray area.
Yeah. I want your advice, chat, on something later after this.
Same advice column.
Yeah. So,
hey, Sophia, do you remember those 2 glorious weeks where you couldn't speak? You remember that?
2 horrible weeks.
Right.
you
Yeah.
sounded like you were whispering always, like you were in the quiet place.
Yeah. What was going on there?
I had laryngitis and no one cared. Everyone
Oh.
was mean to me. I had to whistle for attention. It was
I
horrible.
thought she was faking it. I thought she was just doing it for the
I forgot
attention.
about that.
Yeah, I was convinced she just wanted to annoy me with her whistles.
I didn't know how to whistle beforehand, but I gained the ability to whistle.
That's
when I
not
had...
true. It was still
No.
awful.
No, it
The
wasn't.
whistling was terrible.
It was great.
I hated it.
Well, Sophia, while none of us here cared the way you deserved, there's one place where you would have found someone who would care the way you deserve.
Who is that?
ZocDoc!
No way.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you.
And instantly book appointments with them online.
And these docs all have verified reviews from actual real patients.
We're talking about booking appointments with tens of thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed, credible doctors and specialists.
And you can filter for ones that take your insurance.
And treat basically any condition you're searching for.
The typical wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is between just 24 and 72 hours.
Sometimes even the same day.
I use ZocDoc. We use ZocDoc. You should freaking use it too.
Go to ZocDoc.com/OKOP and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/OKOP, ZocDoc.com/OKOP. Let's get back to the show.
Edit again. I'm sorry for editing all the time, but I'm at work now and won't be able to respond. I just got this text from my husband. I haven't answered his calls or texts. I need to calm down before talking to him. Baby, you were right about X, neighbor's name. I told her that she shouldn't be coming over anymore because my wife doesn't like it. And she said that she had feelings for me. You were right. I love you and I don't want to lose you. Wait, I just got this text from my husband. Oh, I need to read that again because I'm fully comprehended.
Yep.
So the husband
Keep
is
my hands raised.
texting OP, baby, you were right about X, neighbor's name. I told her that she shouldn't be coming over anymore because my wife doesn't like it. And she said that she had feelings for me. You were right. I love you. And I don't want to lose you. I didn't answer him because what can I say to this? I need to go back to work now. I can't ruin my marriage and my work on the same day. And there is another edit. This is what we're talking about.
We called it.
Like this. So even if you are the most loyal person in the world, if you don't put proper boundaries in your relationship, someone can develop feelings for you if you're a hot piece of booty.
And in this case, proper boundaries on other people. Like this is outside of like the two of them kind of. It's like, hey, let's put about, I guess it's kind of both, but yeah, let's put a boundary for this other person. Yeah, you're okay, but why create an environment where someone can fall in love with you?
And I think like something that is if for anyone who has had a partner that has gotten like a little bit too close to what potentially could be a romantic interest, but they say is just a friend, I think a really good way to pose the conversation is like, if this is true, like, hey, I do fully trust you.
Yes.
But I don't trust them to not develop feelings for you if you don't put up the proper boundaries around your relationship, because I think you're doing things that could give the perception that you are open to romantic engagements with this person.
It's not you, it's them.
It's not you, it's them. It's not you, it's them.
There you go.
Sam Hyatt says, anything a partner isn't okay with, friends shouldn't do together. Everyone has different standards. But, edit again.
Oh.
So, hi now, I'm at my sister's and I could just cry. I love him, but I can't do this. He has been calling and sending messages and screenshots all afternoon. I have just answered him with this. But really quick, do we believe him?
That he doesn't have feelings, but he's like admitting that
she had basically he didn't realize there was anything wrong. And now is realizing that this person has feelings for him.
I'm going to go, I might be a little bit biased because we had a very similar situation yesterday where someone revealed the truth, but actually it was this completely altered version of the truth that made them look good. So I'm going to say I don't believe the husband.
The reason, I think I do believe the husband, but I still think he's in the wrong. So what I do believe in is I believe that maybe he didn't know that she had feelings for him, but he also invited her over when his wife was uncomfortable, which we do know. I think that's a red flag.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he necessarily was having an affair or anything.
Maybe he's an idiot.
Maybe he's an idiot.
It's totally possible.
Men are blind. Yeah. A Dash of Stardust says men may be blind, but no one is that blind. You'd be surprised.
Not even me.
You'd be surprised. But yeah. I don't know. It looks like, we're kind of split, actually. That's surprising.
Yeah, look at that.
60% of you are saying no. 40% of you are saying we do believe him. All right, well, let's keep going, see what happens. So OP responds, I love you, but I can't do this. I don't trust you with my heart anymore. I don't think we're compatible because our definition of love, respect, boundaries, and friendship are obviously very different. We probably need to call it a day before we're even more entangled and it gets more complicated. I need space to think. Please respect that, and I will talk to you when I'm ready to discuss our future. He then called 3 times and then texted. Please don't do this to us. I love you. You're the love of my life. Please don't throw everything away in a moment of anger. Be angry with me, but come home and be angry. Take it out on me, fight me, hit me. If you only knew how much I love you and how nobody else in this world matters to me, come home. I didn't answer because I don't know what to say. I'm going to bed. I just want to cry. I don't want him to text or call. Good night. Thank you for listening. And there are some relevant comments and another update. All right.
Emotion.
Let's for a moment, give him the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
And he's just a massive idiot and didn't realize that this person was coming on to him and nothing physical happened. Is that worth the divorce?
So the danger there, thinking through it, I think is hey, even if you did with this without it's almost, in a way, you could argue it's more dangerous because he's he doesn't realize when these things happen, so they will still happen. He'll still disrespect her boundaries, not out of any malice or with any intent to get with another woman, but he'll do it because he doesn't realize that. And could that happen over and over more because he's oblivious?
I think potentially. But maybe that's why the first 6 months of marriage are hard, because you're establishing what does it look like to get married to each other and what are our boundaries in this new definition of our relationship. And so I think part of the first year of marriage, why it's a lot of hard for people, is you're kind of getting on the same page of what marriage looks like to you, because we have this idea in our heads of marriage is commitment and for life and stuff. But even actually those things are not always agreed upon by two people. And ideally, yeah, you talk about it before you get married, but talking about it and actually being in it are two separate things. And so in the first year of marriage, you're kind of figuring out what does it actually look like to be married to each other. And I think things like this happen where it's just a mismatch in what your expectations of marriage look like. And so giving him the benefit of a doubt, which maybe he doesn't deserve, it could just be he's an idiot and you guys are not aligned on what marriage looks like. I don't know. What do you think?
And then can he get there? No, 100%. Still, though, to your earlier point, I am I get that actually putting the label marriage could change things, and you only kind of realize those feelings of change once you're past that point of putting the label of marriage on it. But I feel if you've been in a relationship or they've been married for 6 months and together for 4 years, I think.
They were married for 6 months and together for 4 years, which I am surprised that none of this would come up earlier.
Yeah. So,
but it's maybe it's a different situation because it's his neighbor and he's just I'm going to hang out with my neighbor.
That is a pretty unique scenario. Someone that literally lives right next door to you is always coming over, making you lunch, all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if it was a guy, we'd be oh, they're just hanging out.
Yeah.
They're neighbors and they're good friends. So I'm more of the fan. Like, I think this could be a learning experience. I don't think it's worth. At least if this happened to me and I was married to someone, if I was OP in this situation and I caught my partner having lunch with someone that I was uncomfortable with, I would be like, hey, like, I'm really uncomfortable with the situation. I think it needs to stop. But I don't think I would go towards divorce.
Yeah, personally, I wouldn't either. If anything, counseling to try and answer all of these questions we've been asking this whole episode.
Yeah,
honestly.
But A Dash of Stardust brings up a good point. Why was he not concerned about her feelings until she's ready to leave?
Great point.
But I think the difference is she didn't mention that she was ready to leave yet. Basically, what happened is that he was like, hey, I think my wife is getting uncomfortable. Then the neighbor was like, I have feelings for you. And then he told her that. So it was like as soon as it was most obvious that she was uncomfortable, he made a call.
Right. So again, giving him the benefit of the doubt. It's like, okay, once it was literally boom, so clear right in front of his face, then he reacted. But
also, did they have a conversation? I don't think they had a conversation about it though before this moment.
The most concrete we have on that is him texting her, hey, I know you don't like this, but I love you and you have nothing to worry about. Maybe it was kind of just that and they didn't have any like further conversation from that. I think it's a little unclear.
Yeah,
but
I mean, like,
it was maybe acknowledged but not addressed.
Because I mean, literally, what she has said is, if he's gonna cheat, he's gonna cheat, and I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop him and tell him to not do anything. So
that is her
I don't even know if there was a conversation yet. And there is an update. But yeah, I don't think there has been a conversation yet. So I don't know. It's just like, if you're married, I feel like it would be good to chat. I think it would be good to chat. I think I would chat. You would chat.
I would chat.
I would chat.
Chat.
But do you believe the husband? 60% of you said no. 39% of you said yes. So somewhat split, but definitely more no's than yeses.
Yeah.
Now, getting in to the thick, juicy update. So relevant comments. Actually, relevant comments on the thick, juicy update. Comestible says, well, I'm convinced that he already knew the neighbor girl liked him romantically before her big reveal, and he simply enjoyed the attention. You can't trust this guy, and he only has himself to blame. Sorry you're dealing with this, OP. OP responds, he just sent me a screenshot from her. Apparently, she texted him when she got home that she had feelings for him and wanted him and how he wouldn't regret it. She said she knows he has feelings for her too. He answered her that she is mistaken and that he has never thought about her that way. He liked her and her husband as friends and neighbors and that he loved me, blah, blah, blah. I guess this is damage control he's doing because he has never sent me screenshots from his conversations with her before, because maybe there was nothing to screenshot.
Yeah.
You know, like this, I actually think this is proof of his fidelity, if anything, because she's like, I have these feelings for you. I have to say something. I know you have feelings for me too. This seems like the first admission.
The first time that they've, but I guess you could then argue like, well, there could have been lots of moments of heavy flirting without directly addressing that.
Yeah.
Like, let's stop the playing because we've been playing. Let me get straight to the point and tell you how I feel. Man, I feel like this is really could be both ways.
All right. Well, there is an update.
Oh, tell me. I want to know.
Yes. And Duchess Cassandra, the neighbor, is married as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, update. I'm back home. We are separating.
Oof.
Hi, everyone. It's Sunday morning and I'm back home. My husband is staying with his parents. Yesterday, he showed up at my sister's, puppy-eyed and all, with takeouts from my favorite restaurant, flowers, chocolate, and ice cream. Why do they always think food solves everything? He started apologizing and saying that he loved me and that he would never hurt me. I asked him to start being honest with me, if he had feelings for her and if they've done something. He swore nothing happened and that he doesn't have feelings towards her.
Okay.
I told him that he wasn't honest because why would he let her in my home knowing how much it would hurt me and cost him? If he had feelings for her, why risk your marriage? He couldn't answer that. And more that he didn't think it was bad since he was secure in our feelings and in our marriage. He then admitted that he liked the attention. So you knew before she admitted that she liked you. He responded, yes. He gave me his phone and all his texts and told me to see how he never once flirted or made any advances. I don't know. I was very sad reading and hearing all of this. I told him that they disrespected me. Her last text to him is that she loved him and she would make him happier than I ever could.
Oh.
There was also messages with mean things about me to him, and instead of confronting her, he ignored her or laughed it off. When I asked him about it, he apologized and said she was obviously jealous, so I didn't want to engage. I told him I wanted a separation because I didn't trust him anymore. He begged me not to. Then he said that I should at least come back to my home and he could live with his parents. He also asked if I could promise him to not start the divorce yet and just be separated for a while and go to couples counseling. He said that he messed up very badly and wants me to give him time to make it right again and not just divorce him yet. I don't. If I was in this situation, knowing all the information, like let's assume all the information is true, I don't know as OP, I don't know if I would divorce.
I don't know if I would divorce yet either, but it's kind of like, remember how before his response to like knowing she was uncomfortable was like, hey, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like it's fine.
He definitely effed up. Like this is a definite F up to kind of like, I don't know if you could call it leading on, but it was kind of like leading her on in a way.
Yeah.
If he knew that she was interested.
And I kind of feel like the way he said, hey, don't divorce just yet. I think he could say something more along the lines of, hey, you know what? I know you want to separate right now, and that's valid, and I should respect that. Would you be willing to meet me in the middle and do some couples counseling and talk about it versus kind of I just like his way of responding.
He did say couples counseling.
It still feels, yeah, he did say couples, but you know what I mean? Like there's this like tinge of like dismissing like what she wants to do and everything. While I think he can still ask for time and for counseling. I think that's a totally reasonable ask, but in a way that's maybe more respecting or at a minimum more acknowledging of her wants.
You know what I think is actually the biggest red flag, and it was said in the chat. So he knew she was uncomfortable with her coming over, yet did it anyway.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was she insulted his wife and he didn't say anything back.
Boom. That's a big one.
Like, can you imagine if one of your friends ever insulted your partner?
No.
Right?
No.
Like
unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Completely unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Like I feel like that's just not something that's not something a friend does.
No.
And so even if he just viewed her as a friend, like I don't think it's acceptable to.
Yeah, you've broken friend code.
You've broken friend code.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I want to believe that maybe he can change too, or maybe things were just like, I don't know, but is that too much? Is that too far?
Yeah. I mean,
is that divorce worthy? Would you divorce?
Again, no, I think I'm more like go into counseling and you know, really figure it out, but or dive in deeper. But I think there's both sprinklings of hope and despair in him. That's the vibes I feel.
That is beautifully put. Sprinklings of hope and despair. I mean, aren't we all sprinklings of hope and despair?
Fairy dust piles of sparkles and evil
and shit.
All in one. But yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah. Kara Sosa says everyone in this story needs therapy. Fluffy Safi says divorce. Well, we're going to keep going and see what actually happens. I told him I wanted a separation because I didn't trust him anymore. He begged me not to. Then he said that I should at least come back to my home and he would live with his parents. He also asked if I could promise him to not start divorce yet and just be separated for a while and go to couples counseling. He said that he messed up very bad and he wants me to give him time to make it right again and not just divorce him. So I moved back home this morning and he was there. We had breakfast and he left for his parents. I didn't want him to kiss me. He will be coming home when he needs to work in the office and probably if we start therapy. On these days, I can be at my sister's. She was more than happy to help. Now, I don't want to see him for a while. I hate my kitchen now. I'm sitting in my kitchen writing this, which is sad because we put so much effort into making it exactly what we wanted.
Dream home.
And there are some relevant comments with some OP responses.
Wow. Their dream home really turned into a nightmare home.
Damn.
Tough.
Rough. Tough break.
Tough.
So OP's comment. He said he didn't enjoy the attention, quote unquote, just that he suspected and knew she probably liked him. He didn't think it was more than her feeling lonely in her marriage because her husband works all the time. He said he was never interested, so he thought it was harmless because he knew he wasn't interested. I don't know why he liked the attention. He just said she would come with lunch and says she's bored, home alone, and that she loved renovations and wanted to see her progress, and he didn't want to be rude. She had made fun of my appearance, I'm not blonde, and my style, and he laughed it off. When I asked him, he said, well, obviously she is jealous. Why would I engage in that? If I had defended you, it would have meant I cared about what she said, and I didn't. Wouldn't the better approach have been to cut her off? How hard would that have been? I mean, I think you would say something like, I don't think that's funny.
Yeah.
One of my friends, there's like this person that like makes like too many gay jokes, like in like a middle school kind of way. And he just was like, to that person, he was just like, I don't really find that funny. And like, it was that easy.
Yeah.
It was that easy. Like, hey, line, I don't find that funny.
Yeah.
You know? And I think like that's like a way to just like stop that kind of behavior.
And also like, I feel like I would tell my partner too, like, yo, I don't know, like almost as a
yeah, I would tell my
warning
partner immediately. Oh my God, I can't believe someone said this.
I'd be like, I'm going to stay away. Like you said this terrible thing about, I don't know.
Yeah. Most importantly, I asked him if it was all innocent, would you have told her husband she was spending all days with you? He didn't answer but stood silent because he knows it is wrong. I'm sorry, but if many people like attention, then they're not my type of people. If he thinks her opinion is flattering, he is not my type. He is not what I want to grow old with and have not blonde children with. As she wrote in one of her texts making fun of our children, please F off. You obviously think you're so much better and wiser than Reddit. What the heck are you even doing here? And there is one more comment exchange with OP and someone to close it out. So Money Printer 12 says, you should invest in a front door camera. Definitely tell her husband because she was actively cheating on her husband with yours, whether emotionally or physically, and he should know what she's doing. He blocked her after the text or when he showed you the text. Do you believe he went to his parents? Have you asked them if it's true? I think that's true. Because why would she tell him that she loves him and could make him happier? What was he doing that made her feel and say that? If you're staying, make sure you get a post-nuptial agreement to protect yourself. And OP responds, no, he blocked her after that text. Yeah, he was at his parents. I don't know why she told him that because I have no idea what they talk about when she's here. I don't know why she would make him happier, to be honest. She seems childish if she thinks making food and having the same taste in music makes a relationship. After I left and she confessed she wanted to sleep with him, he told her he wasn't interested at all. And then she wrote him some mean things about me and that she loved him and would make him happier. So he blocked her.
Oof. Big
and
oof.
That is where this story ends.
Oh, I mean, at this point, with the full context of everything that happens, it does feel like their gears don't fully align. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't fully mesh with their relationship style, love style, boundaries, communication, etc., etc.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm still for figuring it out. I think if I was OP in this situation, I think I would be, because again, I've talked about this before, but I had like a situation where a partner was kind of getting too close with one of her guy friends, staying home at his apartment past midnight for like hours and hours on end. And I said, hey, I think this makes me uncomfortable. I really don't think that is a responsible thing to do. Can you just please not stay at his place after midnight? And then when she did it again, then I'm like, oh, it's an easy breakup. I feel that there needs to be a rule set in place that's more obvious. Mm-hmm. And then if that rule is broken, then I think maybe it's an easier divorce. But I don't think they've communicated enough yet to create those rules that make it easier to respect each other's boundaries. Because, you know, boundaries are a hard, like you have to tell people what they are. Because I don't think everyone knows them intrinsically.
And it can often be an uncomfortable experience because like, hey, I don't want you to spend as much time with this person, blah, blah, blah. But I still totally agree with the counseling. And it's like, I wouldn't blame OP if they were like, hey, let me go into counseling and like really even just for myself to learn about myself and like my communication patterns where I can improve where this whole situation stemmed from. But I don't know if I would blame them being like, it's really feeling like our styles are not aligning.
The communication, I feel like the communication is definitely like it's not working. But that's why you go to counseling. That's why you go to counseling.
That's why you do that.
A Dash of Stardust says there seems to be to have been a rule he completely ignored. So actually, there was no rule put in. She said that she was uncomfortable in the post, but never voiced it because she said if her husband wants to cheat, she would cheat, right?
She must have voiced it because he said, I know you're uncomfortable, but I love you.
I think it could have just been like her
demeanor.
Yeah, it could have been a demeanor. Like I know you're uncomfortable or whatever. So like I think it could have been an implicit rule rather than an explicit rule.
I think it's possible that they talked, to your point, Sophia, but it's like very unclear, I feel like, as to whether or not they actually like sat down and addressed it more than that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think if you want the best communication, you need to communicate.
That's true.
You need
just
to communicate.
If you're like over communicate, like just to make sure.
Like, and I mean, again, to read the beginning sentences here, what OP said at the beginning is basically, I have a strong opinion that if my significant other wants to cheat, I won't stop them. If they need to be stopped, they're not worth my love. And so it looks like she saw this like potential relationship that was burgeoning, but didn't actually say anything.
Yeah, I wonder if at any point in their relationship, if she's mentioned that internal rule. I could see that being something, you know, when you're in like the exploratory dating phase of like, oh yeah, how do you approach it? I was like, oh, when it comes to cheaters, I'm literally like, you can go ahead and you can cheat, whatever. Like, I wonder if that has ever come up in a conversation, whether like casually or on purpose from OP.
What do you mean?
If OP ever said that rule to the husband of like, my philosophy is if someone's going to cheat, I'm not even going to stop them. I'm going to let them fall on their face and fail and show me who they really are.
Yeah. I mean, potentially, but I'm looking back at this. I'm looking back at this story and it was like twice she saw her husband eating lunch with this person. My husband doesn't seem bothered at all. So it makes me think nothing is happening between them yet. So I don't think anything was told there. And then after that, I was telling this to my mom and she got so angry at my indifference. So the mom is like, you should be angry about this. And she is like, there are 4 billion women out there and I can't stop him from cheating. He's the only one who can decide if this marriage is worth it or not. So she doesn't seem to have like said anything.
It's not him. It seems to be not super explicit. Yeah. And clear.
Which like, yes, Aquarius Alice says you shouldn't have to spell out not cheating for sure. But if we're to believe everything that he said, there hasn't been any cheating. Right?
Yeah.
There hasn't been any cheating. He just got lunch with this person. Yeah. So it's like I understand people being uncomfortable with that, but I think you have to communicate.
Yeah. Well, the point is too of like he knew and was aware that this was making her uncomfortable. It's not to let him off the hook of like him knowingly making her uncomfortable or any of the things he's said or done, because he's not off the hook for any of those things. No, and because like, he knew he told her.
He's not off the hook at all. Like I think he transgressed a bunch of boundaries, but I don't know if maybe I don't think he necessarily did it with like a ton of consciousness. And so what I'm saying is this feels to me more like a counseling thing than a divorce thing.
Yeah, no,
still.
Yeah. It wasn't a exactly explicitly fully laid out.
Yeah. So I think maybe we put a poll: divorce or not?
Divorce or not?
Divorce or not?
Let's see what the people have to say.
Samantha L says sometimes emotional cheating is worse than a random hookup. And Sophia, what do you think? Do you think divorce or not?
It feels like I think that I agree with everyone in the chat who's saying like this. I think he did like break a boundary or went against a boundary. I think she did express some level of uncomfort because he knew about it. But however, I do think that she feels like she's like wanting to get out of it a little, like very fast. That's my only thing. Like I think that she has a right to want to divorce. I think I kind of agree that maybe counseling first, but I still think he broke a boundary.
Yeah. He knowingly.
There is no doubt that he broke a boundary. I think we're all in agreement here. Yeah. I just feel like it's more of a counseling thing.
Yeah.
Would you counsel? What would you do?
I think they should try counseling, but it will end in divorce. I just think counseling first, and then if she's like, I still don't trust you, then divorce. Just because she's like, I love him, I know he loves me, and the trust is the thing that was tested. I just think counseling first, and if she still doesn't like him, divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bethany says he actively encouraged this woman's interest for his own needs. He played with fire, and now he is angry because he got burnt. Yeah, I mean, he did know. Yeah,
that's the thing is he knew it made her uncomfortable. So it's like, why?
I think he was absolutely the a-hole and in the wrong. Yeah. I just think like Chumpus has agreed she's jumping the gun. I only think that counseling first because just the line where she said something like, we should just call this off before we get any further. It just felt like kind of...
It feels like they haven't talked about it. Like they haven't had a chance to actually really talk. I don't know. It just like that's...
Also, they're pretty far along too. Like they're already married.
Yeah. Like marriage is... I mean, like I feel like a lot of you guys in other stuff, whenever we've said divorce, a lot of people in the comments have said like, well, marriage is a big commitment and you can't take that lightly.
Yeah.
And so I feel like counseling, especially when there hasn't been like official cheating, he's definitely broken trust and he's made a horrible like error in the relationship. But I think counseling first, and then if she still doesn't trust him, then divorce. I think that's my...
Like, if we're really looking at it, at the end of the day, he got lunch with a person a couple times.
I mean...
I see. I think
the big thing is that he knew it made her uncomfortable though.
Yeah, which is like still, but like there have been so many other stories that we have read where people have like, cheated multiple times, and people are like counseling.
We're all on the same page. We all think that they should have counseling and like actually break everything down before they get divorced. Everyone here in this room.
Yeah, I would say we all agree.
Chat is going crazy on us. They're like,
I think at least us three all agree counseling. I think I slightly disagree with you, Sam, about like whether he knew about that boundary or not. I think that was somewhat maybe not explicitly stated, but he knew. So I think that was explicit enough in the fact that he told her he knew.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we are at 71% divorce.
71%.
Emma
Barra says, "I never forgive cheaters." Again, like technically,
he did. Yeah,
he did. He was,
You could argue a emotional affair. I think you could argue that there's an argument for that there.
I think the fact that he knew that she had feelings, definitely crossing a line. And I think OP would have the right to divorce.
Yeah.
I think just counseling might be the first step. Duchess Kasana says, not every guy is emotionally evolved enough to see this is flirting, because if I apply this to my husband, I reckon he'd be this clueless at our 4-year mark. And certifiably Jen says, marriage counseling only works if both parties are open and ready to work. I did counseling with my ex and he lied the whole time. It's not for everyone. That's a great point. I think the point is that it might not work, and that's okay.
Yeah, you could go in and then on the first session or two, you're like, wow, it is so blatantly obvious that he's like literally not. I think positive signs of like, is he listening? Is he being like, man, maybe I was wrong here, or things like that's probably a positive direction. For like, nope, I was perfect. It's like, okay, well,
I think that like again, she is totally entitled to divorce him.
Yeah.
Even if, I think there are smaller situations where people get divorced. I just think counseling is maybe the first step here.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But you know what? There's something really great we have to talk about. This story to close us out. Let's dive into it, ladies and gentlemen. This comes from our very own Discord. Guys.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a Discord one.
It's a Discord one.
This is a Discord one.
Straight from the Reddit stories chat in Discord.
Search the OK Storytime Discord. The link is in the description if you want to submit stories there and join the community.
This one, actually, I should say, is from Discord advice, not from Reddit stories. So I do pull from both.
Discord advice in our own Discord?
Yep.
Great. Gotta love it. All right. So, found my friend cheating on his girlfriend from Reddit.
Oh, wow.
Yoinks. That's
Reddit being the thing that exposes you. No good.
Worst way to find out. This comes from CQ, who says, I, 30 female, have a friend, 32 male of a few years. He's been dating his 26 female girlfriend for a year. I've only met her a couple of times, but I assure you she is stunning, kind, and cool. I called him to catch up recently and he confirmed he was still with her and she is basically living with him. However, that same day, I went to Reddit to explore the local hookup and NSFW forums in my location. For context, I'm single and I'm a curious lady who likes to read the local juice, lol. However, that's when I saw it. A glaring wiener pic with the title, Let's Hook Up.
Oh, no.
Did you recognize it? What?
Oh, no.
Of course. Okay, here we go. Of course, I have not seen this particular wiener, his wiener, but I noticed the username Mike Laylow 1991.
That sounds like a grimy Reddit username, too.
Yeah. He literally used his real name and date of birth in the username.
Oh, no.
Dude, bro snitched on himself.
I thought
hard.
Mike Laylow was like, I'm Mike and I like to lay low.
Oh, I guess that's literally his name.
I mean, his name is probably Mike. It's probably not Laylow.
It could be Laylow.
No, his name is Mike and his
Mike
date of birth is
Laylow.
1991.
Mike Laylow sounds like a last name.
I feel like it's the last name because if I saw like Sam Runs 1997, I don't think I would think of anything. But if I saw Sam Donner 1997, I'd be like, oh snap.
Yeah,
like
a lot of people.
Because she's not thinking of him in this context, but then sees it. Anyways.
She's.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Is this the last name or not? Anywho, I didn't think this was proof enough, so I clicked on his profile to see his Reddit history of posting, and sure enough, he had numerous posts describing his life, property, and businesses. We live in a very small area, and his property, assets, and business are unique and obvious.
Oh, man. His whole life is about to implode.
I went to the girlfriend's Facebook and she just posted how she was away for a week to visit family. He was previously married and they were swingers. I had no idea if his current girlfriend was into that. Whoa, so it could be possibly okay given the past history.
Okay.
So I messaged him from a throwaway and asked to hook up. Exposing. We are going incognito right now.
And this is the friend.
This is the friend.
Trying to expose whether it's cheating on the girlfriend.
Infiltrating right now. Secret undercover agent. I inquired if he was single or if we needed to be discreet. He confirmed it needed to be discreet and soon as his window to host was closing. I mean, that is really how you get him. Because
his window to host, is that like my girlfriend's coming back?
Like, oh, I only have a few more days that you can come over.
Also, chat is crazy. Someone already, Valley Lily's like found more than one Mike Lalo on Facebook, so it's a last name. Y'all are detectives over here.
Screw the CIA. Okay, Storytime chat is on the case. You guys are amazing.
Someone also said it could be Mike Lowe is his name. And it's like
Lalo.
A play on.
True.
Like
That's
Professor Laszlo, or what's Laszlo's?
Camp Laszlo?
Camp Laszlo, yeah.
There might be a professor too.
Yeah, I didn't know it's Camp Laszlo. That's what I was thinking about.
I don't know what to do morally. I don't necessarily care if I lose the friendship, as he has already shared some misogynistic views lately that I don't resonate with. However, we live in a small area and I don't need another person speaking bad about my name.
Wow, the guy posting wiener pics on the internet has misogynistic views? What?
Moreover, I don't know his girlfriend well and don't have her on socials. Then again, if I was her, I would want to know so I could stop wasting my time. So Reddit, what do I do? Tell her? Don't get involved? Is there a way to message her anonymously? I have the receipts. The names and ages have been changed, of course, and I'm going to pause right there because we have some relevant comments and an update after this.
Message her anonymously.
Message her not. We mentioned this the other day.
We dude, easy. We're pros at this by this point. Message anonymously, create like a fake Instagram or a fake Facebook, and then just be like, hey, here are the receipts. Bam. Your moral conscience is clear and your social mobility is still intact.
Throw us a scenario we haven't seen yet. I dare you. I literally dare you.
We're like that. Have you guys seen those videos of the guy who bakes and he's like, I don't know how to bake, but I'm proving that baking is easy by baking the hardest things that you guys can give to me. And that's what we are. But
that's what we are.
Yeah.
Except we've baked 3,000 pastry items.
Except we do know how to bake.
So we do know how to bake.
We do. We're so good at this that we can like predict what's going to happen every time. Every time.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm just saying, big brains.
I'm just
brains.
Put the story in our Discord, in our subreddit. I'm just daring you. Anyways, we have some relevant comments and an update. So Mrs. F comments, tell her, screenshot his posting history, screenshot the D pic with the post, screenshot the convo y'all had if you have it still, and send it all to her on Facebook and let her know her dude is cheating on her and trying to do it with random chicks anonymously, which is another good point because that very much puts her in danger.
Yeah.
Let her make her own informed decisions. As for anonymously messaging her, easy, make a Facebook that is fake and add her as a friend to message her. OP responds, I agree. Trying to navigate making an anonymous Facebook, but Facebook is messing with me. I made an IG and messaged her there.
That was...
There you go.
Did we not say that? We did. We said that. We said to message to do an IG, and they did.
We said IG?
I said IG. I said Facebook or Instagram.
Oh, true. Fair enough.
John, are you even listening to me?
I missed the Instagram part. It's very
I feel like you never listen.
Small detail.
I always listen. You right now.
No. Guys.
All right, counseling.
Yeah. There we go. Call back. I took screenshots of all conversations in his profile and posts in the forums. I then deleted my throwaways. I have all the evidence. I made an anonymous Instagram and messaged her. She has to approve the request, though, before I can share the receipts. She responded and asked for the proof. Here we go. I gave her all the evidence and told her the posts are still up and she can find them. However, I feel sick to my stomach and anxious. I could see this being a very nerve-wracking experience. Like we go live sometimes and we're, we got butterflies in our stomach just because like nervous and certain.
Because you guys give us butterflies in our stomach. Because you're so cute.
But we have a final quick update to close this out here. I told her on the throwaway account. I sent all the evidence and apologized for bothering her if she is in an open relationship or a swinger. She said they are not, but insisted on hearing my voice, stating that the proof wasn't enough, even though it was damning for sure. Then went on the Reddit forums, immediately saw that he deleted his posts, meaning they must be together hanging out right now. Thank God I didn't call. I deleted all my throwaway accounts. What's done is done. This is their thing to work out now, which is kind of the pro of the anonymous account.
Wait, so am I understanding this right? That he saw the message and they were hanging out right now, and he's like, "I want to hear your voice."
So let me double check, but I believe the girlfriend or the wife was saying, "I need to hear." Yeah. She said they are not, but she insisted on hearing my voice. So it was the girlfriend or the wife. That she was, but she's like, this evidence isn't enough. I need to like hop on the phone with you. But she was like, oh, I noticed he started deleting his posts right then as she was messaging. So they must have been arguing about it like at that very moment.
Whoa.
Because he's like trying to like delete the evidence as she's like receiving these texts. And she's like,
so OP's like, my work here is done.
Yes, gracefully step back, which is I think the pro of the anonymous account, where it's like, hey, look, I mean, she had a ton of receipts.
Walk away.
Light the match, walk away. Pff, movie ending. Perfect.
Movie explosion ending.
And OP had various forms of receipts. Like, I think OP did a pretty thorough job of collecting all the evidence, sending it over, and then OP's like, this is not my problem. I'm not close with the guys, etc., etc. I don't have to be intertwined and catch strays being in this mess, so I'm gonna back up, which I think is totally fair.
I think so. I don't think you need to get any more involved at this point. I think you've done what you needed to do.
Very good, sufficient evidence.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's like there's a certain point that you do something because you think it's the morally right thing to do, but then getting too involved just hurts your own life and stops your ability to do more good in the world, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's where OP should step away.
Yeah. Bethany says she did her part. OP showed what she had. She literally gave her everything that she had, which is, I think, a good move.
Mm-hmm.
Give all the evidence that you have.
But I think that's where we should end the episode.
That's a rap-a-doodle-doo.
Yeah. So wait, where do we end on should we always tell people about cheating, emotional or physical?
You know, I know we've bounced back and forth on this, but I think yes, because the one caveat scenario has been like, oh, what if you're not involved in all this stuff? You can just send it anonymously.
Yeah, exactly. I think the anonymous message is when you are sure of cheating, the anonymous message, if you want to be like the most moral person you can, anonymous message is the best way to go.
So I think, yeah.
And there's no flack on you.
And there's no flag on you.
Yeah.
There you go.
But what do you think? Put your answers in the chat.
And if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you and see you tomorrow.